another episode of the Primer Podcast. My name's William.
And this is Davis, and we are on location in Rancho Cucamonga today with Mike Satterfield.
Hi, how's it going, guys?
From gentlemanracer.com.
Yeah, gentlemanracer.com, yeah, and also Morgan's and Phillips Speed Shop.
Well, let's start off with the Gentleman Racer website.
Yeah, the Gentleman Racer kind of started originally as my personal blog and things way back in the dawn of the internet. And the last couple of years, we've kind of revamped it into kind of more of a lifestyle website. We kind of cover events and news, fashion, stuff that's kind of automotive related, so.
As far as automotive, you're also into racing too, so let's
Absolutely.
drag racing, road course racing.
Personally, I love road racing. We cover a lot of drag racing and other events, but yeah, we actually are in the process of building our first kind of actual project race car that we're going to be taking across Mexico in a few months.
Few months or few weeks?
Well, we don't really know.
in the near future.
In the near future, right? Okay.
And that's the Rally Historico.
Rally Historico Transpeninsular.
And
is there a website for that?
It is the longest website in the world because it is Rally Historico Transpeninsular.mx.
Okay. And you have nothing to do with far as that website?
No. We tried to get them to do a shorter website, and they're supposed to be getting a shorter handle for it because no one can spell transpeninsular. But if you go on the Facebook page and start searching for it, on Facebook you can find it, and then they have a link to it. So.
And what vehicle are you going to be entering in that?
We're going to be racing a 1962 Austin Healey Sprite Special. The car's kind of a unique car. It was built in Manhattan Beach back in the 60s. By a tuner named Jay Geddins is all we know about him. So he ran ads in Road and Track trying to sell his own unique fiberglass body panels and some tuning parts for the Austin Healeys. And as far as we know, we have the only one that is still around. So.
And how many classes do they have for this race?
There's 3 classes. We're in the first class, under 2 liters.
Okay.
And then there is a over 2 liter, and then there's an over 5 liter class for like the really big cars.
The really big guys, right?
And then there's also an expedition class, which they have a couple late model cars and unique specialty cars that aren't historic vintage cars, but are going to run the race just as a fun type of thing to do. They're not competing in any of the classes themselves. So.
What are some of the logistics of the race, like start, finish?
It's a 3-day event, right?
It's a 3-day race. Yeah, we start in Tijuana. We go down the Highway 1 in Baja to Cabo San Lucas. So it's broken into 3 stages. The first couple stages are time, distance, speed, kind of traditional rally type of car rally type thing. But the third and final stage is a high speed, all out, close the highway down road race. So it's you still time, but you're allowed to go as fast as you can. On the time distance one, you have to hit certain targets and obey traffic laws and all that stuff. So the last one is where you get to really kind of let it all hang out and see how it goes.
Right.
So, yeah.
And that last leg, is that mostly like big highway, or is it windy road?
It's a bit of winding road. The cool thing about this course is it's got over 1,500 turns in it total. So it's a pretty technical road. It goes across from one coast, crosses over the kind of expansive desert in the middle of Baja, and then goes down the other coast and takes us down to Cabo.
That sounds like...
So it's all paved?
It's all paved,
that's a good place.
Yeah. No, it's definitely all paved. That's the first thing everyone asks me. Say you're racing in Baja. It's like, you're taking Austin Healing the Baja 1000? We're like, no. It's all on highway. It's not a off-road race.
And so how many hours do you race a day?
We have different start times for the different stages. It's usually about 450 miles a day you're going to be covering. So I guess just depending on how fast you end up getting it done and what time you start. Because the cars leave every 30 seconds to a minute apart depending on the class.
And how many cars?
So far we have about 42 cars running. There's a couple more people that have applied that are pending approval. So.
And what kind of crew do you need for something like this?
Our crew is pretty light because this is our first kind of international expedition on this type of thing. So we have a mechanic, we have a chase car. We actually have a film crew that we're working with because we're shooting a short documentary about our effort with our $100 car. So it's going to be kind of interesting. But it's kind of all strokes. You've got guys from Mexico City who are coming up with a classic MGA, and it's just him, a co-driver, and a mechanic who's following behind. And then you got some guys that are coming from the U.S. that have full crews with big, huge trailers and trucks, and are bringing probably 6 or 7 people to maintain and work on their cars. So it's kind of a wide berth when it comes to the different level of involvement each team has. But it should be fun.
And this is the first time they're doing it.
This is the first time for this race. Yeah, it's there's other races in Mexico that are similar, but this is the first one that's in Baja, and it's the first one that's an actual road race on the West Coast. The La Carrera Panamericana is the big famous one they've been doing for years, but that's on the eastern side of Mexico. This one is the first one. It's kind of close enough to LA that most of the drivers from the U.S. are from California, Arizona,
Right.
Nevada. So it's a kind of our backyard for us.
And then let's talk about the car.
Yeah,
You got it for $100.
the $100 Austin.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. We call it on the website. If you go on the Gentleman Racer and you click on our little tab called TGR Garage, we have all of our project cars there, and this one's known as the $100 Healy, and it's called that because we literally paid $100 for it. It was one of those things. Guy calls up, says, "Hey, do you want to buy an old car?" And ask him what he has. Drive out to Paris, California, which is, they have a little airport out there, and the car was literally stuck in an airplane hangar in the back, and the guy had taken over the lease on it and just wanted it cleaned out, so we gave him $100 for it, and it was pretty straight. It was originally it was originally white, then someone painted it green, and it's going back towards white again. But the car it's a really unique car because the whole front end is completely different than your standard Austin Healey. It's a fiberglass tilt-forward front end. The earlier Healeys, too, like this, are really neat because they don't have factory door handles. They're real roadsters. So you have a little door handle on the inside. They had side curtains. It's about as simple a car as you can get because there's no air conditioning. There's no power.
No,
there's no windows.
just a
There's
roadster.
nothing. There is
Right.
just a body with wheels, pretty much. So.
And then what engine?
We just picked up for this rally. You're supposed to be in spec to what was original to the car. The rally's open to cars from 1973 and down. Our car being a 62, the engine that came in, it's a 948cc A series British motor. It's not the greatest motor that was ever put in these cars. A lot of people are putting 1275s in them and the bigger motors. But to be correct for the race, we have to have the correct engine in the car. So.
Are you going to be limited as far as radiator capacity for climbing those hills and whatnot?
Well, actually, Champion Radiator is supposed to be building as a custom radiator for this because that's the one problem with the 948s is they tend to overheat. So we're actually putting a huge, massive radiator in this, oil coolers and all that stuff to keep the engine happy.
Right, you're going to need it.
Especially if the race is scheduled to be either early or mid-June.
That's right, because you're pushing the days back. Right.
So,
nice and humid.
Yeah,
and,
it should be nice and warm down there in Baja. So, yeah.
What kind of safety gear do you have, or modifications do you have to do?
Well, that's the only thing you're really allowed to update on the car is safety. So we have to have a 6-point roll cage in the car. We have to have a fire suppression system, which is going in the car. We don't have to have a fuel cell, but we did get a really cool. Jazz gave us a 16-gallon fuel cell, which is great because it's basically 3 times the capacity of the original fuel tank, and it should allow us to do most of the race on almost 1 tank of gas. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, other than just basic upgraded safety, you have to have modern safety seats, fire system, and a proper roll cage. But other than that, you can pretty much run a street car. It's got to be DOT approved tires. It's got to be headlights, taillights, brake lights. You can't bring a full, off-road race car to this race. It has to be street legal.
You have to wear a driving suit or a helmet?
Yeah, we have to have full helmet, driving suit,
okay.
hands device. They've just added that, so that's something we got to get. So we're hunting up one of those right now because we need Hans devices and, of course, 4-point harnesses and all that stuff. So.
What about brakes? Can you...
We can't upgrade the brakes, which we are on this car. The original brakes in this were all drum all the way around,
Yeah,
and they're literally like the size of like a saucer plate. I mean, they're super tiny. So the only brakes that really bolt onto these cars are from a later model MG Midget. So we're putting disc brakes from an MG Midget on it. Other than that, that's about all you can really do, unless you start going to full custom race brakes, which we don't have the budget for that. Our kind of point of the car was to show, especially the younger kids, that you can go out and buy an old car and build it on a budget and have something fun. You can go do events, you can do stuff like that. Because it kind of came up when I was sitting with a bunch of guys that are in like their 20s that I hang out with and we do car stuff with. They were like, man, I want to buy this like old car, but I was watching Barrett Jackson and they're all so expensive. I'm just like, dude, that's not reality.
That. Right, don't watch that.
Yeah, he was telling me about like a 1965 Mustang Coupe 6-cylinder went for like $62,000. I said, yeah, that's not the real world. So we kind of wanted to showcase that. Yeah, we bought the car for $100. We're in the car personally under $2,000 so far. Our biggest expense was our motor we just picked up, but yeah, you can build these cars on a really limited budget and have fun. Yeah, you're not going to go out and win the Concours, but the thing I always love about like Pebble Beach and those type of events is you go there and you look at the old race cars. And these guys have $25,000 paint jobs on them, and every stitch is lined up. It's like
they weren't
these
like
guys,
that.
These
Never
guys
like that.
were hammering these things all over, and they were painted with paintbrushes and stuff.
Just rigged up.
Yeah, but yeah. So we want to kind of build a car more authentic to period, and almost everything on the car except for safety and the brakes and stuff that's like replaceable for mechanical stuff is period correct. So the windshield, we've got the old Radot style mirrors on it. We've got all the original type stuff going back on the car. So it should pretty much look like a 60s car except for the seats and the safety equipment.
And you mentioned you're going to do a wrap job on it?
Yeah, we're going to wrap the car. We've got some graphics that we've done up. We've named the car El Guapo, which, the handsome one.
The handsome one, right.
Because it's actually kind of an ugly little car. So we got the car's El Guapo, and we've got some graphics that are done that have a cross America and a Mexico flag, and it says El Guapo underneath it, and it's just pretty cool. So.
At least you didn't call it the Chihuahua.
The potato taco.
There you go.
So, how much does it cost to get into the race?
The race for an entrance, depending on the exchange rate, is right around $5,000 when you cross over to American dollars. So that includes your hotel, lodging, the whole thing. There's start parties, after parties, and things like that. So it's a 3-day event, and it's a kind of a one-of-a-kind thing. There's nothing really on it that's this accessible. Most of the other races that are like this, you're looking at $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 just to compete in it. And again, this thing that makes this one different, it's not like just an old car rally. It's not we're going to drive around through wine country. It's a real race. So it's a really neat event because it kind of bridges that gap from the big crazy full-on races and that kind of just rally where you limited preparation, bring your car out, and you don't have to have a full FIA racing license and all the other stuff. So it's really kind of a cool event that makes motorsports a lot more accessible.
And who sponsors?
Well, we've got some great new sponsors. Toyota of Escondido is one of our big sponsors who's helping us promote the race and get it. We actually have a press conference coming up there on May 8th. That'll be pretty fun. We've got some cool stuff we're going to be unveiling at that press conference. BRM Chronographs, the watch company. The cool thing with them, they just came on board as our trophy sponsor. And the winners of each class are actually going to get a BRM chronograph watch, which is a really high-end, very nice watch, and these really cool trophies that they make that kind of replicate the watch hands with the drilled holes and very, very mechanical looking. So those are really neat. We're excited about having them on board. And then we've got a lot of the Baja Tourism Board and a lot of the government agencies in Mexico who are trying to really bring the Mexico image back and rehabilitate it, because the American news has really done a lot to scare a lot of people that Mexico is this horrible place to go and you'll be instantly taken or kidnapped and things like that. So it's got a really good core group of Mexico officials that are behind it that are really supporting it, and then we've got some great sponsors like Toyota of Escondido and the BRM Chronographs, and M2 Machines is really cool. They do diecast cars.
Oh, okay.
And they're doing a special series for Rally Historico that's going to have the decals like in the race, and they're doing a whole series that's going to be sold in Mexico specifically. And then they're also going to have a couple limited editions that are going to be sold in the U.S. for collectors that'll have all the sponsor logos and everything, just like the actual cars. So it should be pretty neat.
And then as an American who's not going to be able to go to Mexico and watch the race, is it going to be televised or
We've got
a stream?
They've got some streaming services they're working with. That's one of the things we'll be announcing shortly of how it's going to be broadcast. There's a new sponsor who's come on board who actually does that technology, who's supposed to be working on that. So until we have all those details, it will be available to watch. We're also making a film about it that will be available to. It's supposed to be on Motorland.com, which is a online streaming service that does like Hulu Plus, Amazon Prime, and all that stuff as well. That's going to document kind of our series and growth with the car. And then we've also been talking to the Automotive Film Festival that debuts in August at Monterey about showing the film up there at the Pebble Beach Concours when they do the whole event up there. And the Automotive Film Festival is a lot of fun, so we're excited about that as well.
Very cool. So what got you into cars?
My dad. My dad works for SEMA companies. My dad he's a designer. He still works for SEMA companies now. Back when I was a kid, he was always bringing home SEMA cars. Basically, there was always something in the driveway. He worked for. If you drove a truck in the 1980s. My dad probably designed something that's on it. So he worked for Mercury Tube, Grizzly Products, and Fay Bumpers, and designed all those roll bars and push bars and aftermarket bumpers and running boards and all that stuff. And that's what he did primarily for a long time. And he currently works for a company called TMI, which does all the interiors, Volkswagen, Mustang, and stuff. And he's designed a lot of their new sports seats and a lot of their new kind of more innovative stuff, and is really involved in trying to push the market forward on a lot of cool stuff. So he's been my biggest influence, and we do project cars together. He always helps me come up with, especially ideas on the interior, because that's the world he works in now, is mostly interior stuff. But yeah, he was always bringing home cars. 70 Mach 1s and old SEMA show trucks, and we just kind of grew up in it. And it's kind of a funny thing because the way my business works, I have a line that's kind of like Western and a line that's all automotive. And it's because my mom's side of the family is all cowboys, and I grew up on a farm. But my dad was this long-haired Laverda motorcycle cafe racer, BMW 2002 driving car guy that married into the family. So I kind of end up with a foot in both worlds.
And then, so what was your first car?
My first car was a 1954 Ford Crestline.
Oh, wow.
That I bought for $150 when I was 14. So it was an old farm down the street back when Chino was all dairies back then. And me and my buddy Roman used to ride bikes around, and I saw this old car sitting back there, and I knew I wanted cars. I had already been messing around with go-karts and stuff like that, and mini bikes, and anything I get my hands on and take apart and not really put back together again because you're 13, 14 years old. So I bought this car, got the farm truck. We could legally drive because we were on official farm business.
Right.
Hooked a chain around this thing and drug it home. And my parents were like, okay, enjoy. So my buddy Roman and I put the car back together as good as 14-year-olds can. And my dad helped us a bit, but he wanted us to kind of learn on it. And it was a big, huge 6-cylinder. We got it running, yeah. We got it running and driving, and we tooled around it around the dairy some, and then I sold that car and used that money. I bought it for $150. We got it running. We kind of did some really dubious body work. We spray painted it.
Oh yeah.
And we sold it for $1,500 to this total rockabilly guy he had visions of grandeur. And we're like, okay, cool. Like we turned $150 into $1,500. So we started buying other cars, and that's kind of how it all got started. So.
More $100 cars.
There's quite a few of them in my history, even some free cars. So.
That's a plus.
Free is good.
Free is good. That's right.
And then what about the racing aspect? What got you into that?
Well, I've always wanted to get into racing. Racing is an incredibly expensive hobby.
Sure is.
So most of my racing was of the illicit kind when I was a kid,
right.
As everyone did back in the day.
Say no more.
But I always loved mountain drives and Glendora Mountain Road's like my backyard here.
True, that's right.
I pretty much pop up mountain, take the GR, and I've been driving up there forever. But I've always wanted to get into more legitimate racing, and I started doing some club events, just track day stuff, and done some of those, go driving like Lamborghinis on tracks and things like that, and that's all fun. And I really started getting into it, and this opportunity presented itself, and I was like, you know what? I've already got the car, So let's just turn it into a race car. We'd actually painted it green originally, but we decided to go with a white color for the race. But just had to basically repaint it and get, like I said, add some race prep stuff to it, and we're going racing now.
So you mentioned earlier you had over like 100 cars.
Oh yeah.
What are some of your favorites?
Favorites?
Okay, let me rephrase it. What are some of the regrets that, like, I had this one. I wish I still would.
Not really any of them. For me, I've had everything from really weird. Like I had a Moretti 124, which was a custom-built, coach-built Italian on a Fiat 124 chassis. I've had the car I drove in high school primarily after I sold my 54 Ford was a 67 Galaxy 500 fastback, which was a lot of fun.
Fastback.
Yeah, the one, big, all the windows rolled down. Thing weighed 10,000 pounds, had a 390 in it, and
He's got a 68.
I've got a 68.
oh, okay, cool, very cool, yeah. So that's why the Fairlane was so appealing to me, because it's like a slightly scaled down version of that car. But yeah, I mean, I've had everything. The car that I kept the longest was my '69 Mini Cooper. And I built that for the 2012 SEMA show, but most cars I keep like 2 years, 3 years, the most, maybe. That car I had for 7 years, so that was a lot of fun. I actually just recently sold it, so.
So you don't get attached?
Not really. No. I mean, I've never been one of those guys who's like, I'm a Ford guy or I'm a Chevy guy, or
Right.
I just like cars in general, and I think they all have their. I mean, I've had weird cars: Peugeots, Opels, Puma GTEs. You kind of name it, I've had it. Jaguars. I mean, all kinds of that stuff. Then I've had tons of Fords and Mercuries. I had a Mercury Monterey convertible. I had a 65 Falcon. I had a 71 Mustang I got for free out there in the dairies. 71 Mustang sports roof. So I've had all kinds of weird cars, and but the stuff I'm always attracted to is the more, I guess less mainstream stuff. I mean,
Right.
Our current project car we just picked up, which we're going to be building for SEMA, is a Fiat 131.
I saw
sedan.
that, man.
So,
that
yeah.
thing is...
It's pretty worn out, yeah.
That thing looks rough. Well, I mean, I'll take that back. It did look straight.
Yeah, the body's straight,
But
interior's
that's
going in the garbage.
Not something I would like. I don't know.
Yeah, the Fairlane, when we got it, it had been sitting for 20-something years back in a behind house in Chino, basically.
And this is at 67.
Yeah, the Golf racing car, yeah.
The Golf car, right.
that we built for the SEMA show in 2014.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah, it's a fun car. It's a blast. But that car, I mean, I picked it up and I just kind of looked at the potential, and everyone's like, "Oh, this thing's too rough." It's but I looked at it and said, "It's got weird thing. It's got a clean dash pad, so that's at least something I don't have to replace."
Right.
So we kind of tore the car apart, did a couple of renderings, and in about 6 months put that car together and took it to the SEMA show. So we've done some cool stuff, and we always try to do stuff that's different, like the golf racing thing. And that was really a tie-in with my company's collection that we do for golf oil under license. So we developed that car and kind of used it as a promotional tool for that. But nobody thought. We get lots of questions like, "Why did you do a golf race? They didn't make that." We said, well,
that's actually one of my questions right here.
The concept was I was looking at it, and I've always loved like European touring car, which is crazy. I mean, you'd have like Mini Coopers versus Ford Falcons. It's a door-to-door race, just wild stuff. And not too long ago, I had a chance to go back and do some stuff with Holman Moody, check out their shop, and I was like, what if Holman Moody built a Fairlane for European touring car, but with their NASCAR history?
Right.
So we kind of crossed the two over, and the paint job we kind of pulled from like the old the GT40s that had the orange going down the rocker panel, and we put number 20 on it for Steve McQueen just because it's cool. His Porsche 917 was number 20 in Le Mans. And the interior we did with TMI's new sports buckets, because the car was originally a bench seat car.
Okay.
And those seats are super cool. And we actually did a baby blue stripe with orange behind the grommets, so the orange is real subtle. But yeah, I mean, it was just kind of a fun thing to do. And we thought, well, why not? Let's do something different. Everybody paints them red and puts chrome bumpers on them. So let's do something fun. And it's actually the only car I've ever gotten hate mail and I had a hate phone call about. So
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a guy call and he's like, pick up my phone.
mail.
He's like, "Are you the guy who's building that Fairlane?" And it's like, "Yeah, I saw it in one of the magazines it had been in the rendering." And I was like, so I thought he might have been a potential sponsor or like someone we were already working with.
Oh, so
like,
you're going, oh,
I'm
right.
like, okay, well, hey, what can I do for you? And he's like, F you. I'm like, okay, you ruined that car. And he goes on this like diatribe about how I'd ruined the car. I was like, well, he was rotting in a backyard. It was a $500 car, so I don't feel too bad about it. Plus, originally it was a 6-cylinder car, so
I was going to ask. Well,
yeah.
a lot of Fairlanes came with 6.
Yeah, big
Most of them
6-cylinder.
came with a-
So we stuck the 427 in it with a Tremec TKO 600.
That was the chunk of money of investment that you put into that $500
Yeah,
car.
Yeah, 427's not cheap.
Yeah, so it's got a 427 in it with the TKO. We did 4-wheel disc brakes on it for the stainless steel disc brake conversion.
Right.
We did a bunch of work on the suspension. We had Eaton Detroit Springs. They actually made us custom springs for the car to get the stance right. The car was kind of a nightmare because the engine block that we bought was for a 64, and I guess 64 and then 66 they changed something on the way the mounts bolt on. It's like a 2-bolt or a 3-bolt.
It's 2 or 3-bolt
Yeah.
motor mount.
So the car's a 67, the motor is a 64, and that difference we had to custom fabricate mounts and all kinds of stuff to get that engine in there correctly. And then Doug Thorley Headers actually built custom headers to fit because the engine position changed from the stock 427 position, so it's actually sitting back and a little bit lower than factory. So it's not a bad thing, but it just made the headers a nightmare. So it's got these really cool, beautiful, one-of-a-kind headers that he just about wanted to kill us over, but they fit. So.
Well, and getting headers in there is a tight fit anyways.
Yeah, we had to trim shock towers as it was, so yeah, it was real tight.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So let's get back to racing.
Sure.
So you started off not so legal.
Yeah.
You got into legal stuff. What are your thoughts about what's going on now as far as the street racing? Obviously, it was a month or so ago in Chatsworth, and it seems like every week there's something new.
Yeah, we actually write a lot about this on the Gentleman Racer because what's funny is Irwindale is in its last days.
Exactly.
You have Cal Speedway, Cal Auto Club, which is really close for me. But if you live in Long Beach, you live in LA, you live in Ventura, you're a 2-hour drive minimum just to get out there. And the racing dates are so limited. There's not even, it's not like it's a regular thing. It's like once a month maybe. So I always love it when the politicians and the police, there's plenty of legal ways to do this. You don't have to do it in the street. And I go, where? Bakersfield? Everything is so clamped down. And when Irwindale closes, that's the last actual racetrack in LA County. I mean, there's no other race facilities that can handle full-size cars, and it's only an 1/8 mile. So,
Right.
Yeah, street racing is dangerous and stupid. I mean, it's one of those things that's part of the culture that is never going to go away. Everyone's going to, go out and try their car out one time. These guys are doing super organized, crazy street races. I mean, they're going to get hit pretty hard with some penalties, but there needs to be alternatives where people can actually get out and enjoy their cars and race. And what's so funny for LA being such a car-centric culture is it's becoming so anti-car as far as our government is concerned. But I just don't know what the alternative is really.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here in the next couple of years for sure.
Yeah, we've got someone for you to meet.
Yeah.
There's Donald Galaz is trying to get Terminal Island
Oh, very cool.
back going. Have you heard any latest progress?
Nothing of the latest. He's trying to round up voters to get people involved with local politics, to get initiatives approved and get their local politicians' ear to get them, city council working.
Yeah, it seems to be a big problem. I mean, even out here, as the developments move in, people want to live in utopia. They want no noise ever.
Right.
And that's what killed Cal Speedway for a while. Is they had to put in that gigantic
the
sound wall.
Right.
And that's why Pomona never runs any public events. They
It's
only
true.
run the big.
There's nothing going on this year.
They've got a beautiful, full functioning racetrack there, but they're not allowed to run because people don't like the noise. So,
But it's obviously, and it's coincidentally across the street from an airport.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, so everyone moves in and they buy a house across the street from a racetrack and then complain about living next to a
noise,
racetrack.
right.
It's the same thing down here by our facility in Ontario. It's right near Chino Airport. And you drive by and there's big signs, stop flying planes over our neighborhoods. Like, the airport trained people for World War I. It's been there a while. So, yeah, I don't know what the solution is because there's really nowhere else to go. I mean, land-wise, the amount of space you need for a drag strip is just, it's a big chunk of land in LA County. When Palmdale closed, that was a big loss. And now they're talking about doing more events up at Willow Springs, but I mean that's a
That's a drive.
What is it, 3 hours?
Yeah, everything's 2 or 3 hours away, especially if you're in the city.
Oh, you're not going to do that.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. So I don't know what the solution is, but I do love it when they get up there and talk about there's plenty of legal places to race, and nobody ever says, okay, where is that at?
Where is that? Right.
So
yeah, I don't know about that, man. Not going to be good.
So support Project Street Legal. Yeah. Sign that petition.
Yeah, that's very
Sign
cool.
that petition. It's free. Yeah. What are you going to do with this Fiat 131, man? What engine are you going to put in this thing? I got to jump back to that.
I haven't decided yet. The Fiat 131 was one of those things where I'm on eBay and it's late at night. I'm like,
so
that's pretty cheap. I can
it's
buy
kind of like the drinking and dialing. You're like drinking and bidding, and you won.
Yeah, so I paid $200 for it, so I don't feel too bad. It's a '79 Fiat 131 sedan, and the cool thing about it is it's rear-wheel drive, so that's super cool. And what I wanted to do, because my company, we just signed a deal with Fiat. We're going to be doing some officially licensed Fiat products.
Okay.
And I was thinking, let's do a Fiat, but let's do something that's kind of different. And again, Datsun 510s are huge. Datsun 240s are huge right now.
Sure.
The whole Japanese movement is big right now. And we're building a 240 that's on our website too. That's right. That we just got back from wrapping up.
Right.
But the 131, the whole concept is to kind of do almost like a JDM Datsun 510 kind of look to it, and take it to all the import car shows and show that there's alternatives to just Datsun 510s and other. It's a cool looking little car, and being rear wheel drive, we're gonna try to put a late model Fiat engine in it from the modern Fiat, and we have to convert to rear wheel drive. So we're doing some logistical things, trying to figure out if there's a tranny that's gonna really work with that, making it rear wheel drive without too much hassle. But we want to do something that's gonna be smog legal because it's a '79, so we got smog in California. So it's we've got some renderings we've done. We're working on a couple different things. One of the original colors that was available on that car is that super bright Lamborghini like green. So we're probably gonna paint the car the bright green.
Bright green
with some black graphics and black out the hood, kind of like the old rally cars did. And we're of course going to ditch the big gigantic bumpers and.
Okay,
and
I was going to say
the big bumpers are going in the
safety
trash,
bumpers and right.
We're probably going to. The kind of concept of what we want to do with the car is, remember in the Fast and Furious 6, they had the Escort Mark 1 with the full
past me.
roll cage. And basically, it's just like a stripped out rally car for the street. So we're going to probably delete the whole interior almost completely, anyways.
Yeah.
Put a nice roll cage in it. Maybe put 4 Sparco bucket seats in it, because the 4-door.
Oh, that's right.
And then puts Japanese style fender flares on it and
there
dump
you
it
go,
on the
flares, dump it. Yeah, put some
so it'll be cool.
wheels.
It'll surprise people.
What other projects are you working on?
The 240Z, man.
Yeah, we've got a Datsun 240Z. It's a '72. It actually belongs to my best friend. I've known him since 10. And he's always wanted one. He's a big Nissan guy. And we were actually out at the SEMA show with the Fairlane. And he gets a call because he'd been looking for one. And there was one out in the middle of nowhere. It was here's Las Vegas. And it's in the middle of nowhere from Las Vegas. So it was out in the deserts of Nevada. So we left the SEMA show and drove out to look at it after the show one night. And it was in a storage yard in the middle of nowhere. And the car's complete, it was rust-free, and we were able to pick it up. So we drove home with the Fairlane, unloaded it, then drove back out to middle of nowhere, Nevada, and picked up this 240, and then brought it back to California and started tearing it apart. So.
And you weren't tired at all after SEMA.
Oh, yeah. It was zombie patrol there, yeah. But, yeah, we just got the car back from paint about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and we're kind of reassembling it. Pretty much outside's almost completely stock looking. Just a few minor changes, some badges removed and things like that. Painted it back the Grand Prix white. It was originally painted. But, I mean, this is the first car that we've ever done, like, everything came out. The entire interior came out. The suspension, everything got painted inside and out. And the interior we're doing is kind of neat because the stock seats are going back in, but we've added more foam to give them a little bit more side bolstering. And then we've done an Alcantara insert that's in the same kind of diamond pleat pattern that goes down the center console from the factory. So it'll kind of tie in together nice, but it's all going to be white with black interior. And the car was one of those like project cars that just keeps giving you good surprises instead of bad surprises. So we get it and we take the head off because it had we think maybe a blown head gasket. It was fine. But as we tear it apart, we find it's got a Nismo cam in it. And we're like, oh, cool. So it's got a nice cam already in it. Then we're sitting there and we're going to replace the shifter bushings and it feels really sloppy. And I pop it and I go, it's got a 5-speed already in it. So it had a lot of just really good things from it. So we're happy to get it done. BC Suspension actually sending us their new coilover conversion. We're going to be doing a story on that. And because you have to do a lot of welding and some modifications to make it work, but we're going to put full coilovers on the car. So for the outside, it's going to look almost bone stock, but underneath it's going to have nice modern suspension, a little more comfortable interior. We're probably going to add a classic air conditioning system to it. That's all kind of hidden underneath the dash, so it'll be drivable here in Southern California. And he just wants to have a nice driver, so it's going to be a great car when it's done.
You got to check out that Japanese classic car show.
Yeah, we're hopefully
a lot of great ideas going on down there.
Now the one at Peterson Museum.
No, the one in Long Beach.
Long Beach. Oh, yeah. We go to there all the time. It's a great show. Yeah. Peterson actually has one coming up. I think on the 17th of May, they're having a big all-Japanese classic cruise-in, so we're going to check that out too.
Oh.
But yeah, there's always something fun with the Japanese cars. I mean, he grew up with me. Like I told you, we were talking before we started recording. Is all my friends started doing 240s. That was him. So him and all his crew, they were all doing the Nissan 240SXs, and they were doing all this, the drift cars and stuff back when that first came on board. I'd go buy like an MGB GT or something, something weird. So, and then we just picked up a Ford Courier, which is.
So the Courier now, is that going to be, that's the chase vehicle for the...
Probably not for this race.
Okay.
Yeah, no. It's being turned into a ramp truck because it was originally a factory dually. So it's this little tiny Mazda Courier, Ford Courier dually. So we're gonna put a ramp body on it that we're gonna have custom made, and we keep going back and forth because it's all original. I mean, the car is 100% original. It's got the original Motorola radio in it, every sticker, everything's in the right place. So we're determining whether we want to actually go and repaint the car or we want to just kind of preserve it and then paint like vintage style, the speed shop's name and stuff on it, and kind of keep it look like it's a little beat up, but we haven't quite decided. We might go full restoration or old kind of a preservation style.
So as far as the chase vehicles, though, they're the guys who have fuel on board when you need to get gassed up out on the race.
Yeah, our chase, we're probably we have an F-150 and a trailer. It's just gonna be following us down. So for now, until we get the little Courier done.
And the film crew.
Yeah, and the film crew, exactly. So.
And okay, so as far as the film crew, though, I mean, this is going to be a 3-day event, and they're going to be doing a full production and producing something.
We've got a couple of young filmmakers we're working with that are going to be shooting the film, and then we're going to have, of course, like GoPros on the car. And
right.
Like
okay.
and all that type of stuff for footage. We're hopefully going to be. We're still waiting to hear some stuff from the Rally Commission as far as. If we can get there a couple days ahead of time and run on some of the closed sections and get some just shots.
Drive-bys.
Drives and things like that without having to actually be in the race.
Be in the race, in the way and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So
some B-roll stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Always necessary.
Always needs. Well, you need that filler.
You got to have that filler, right? Exactly.
Yeah, we're only shooting for a 30-minute film for 3 days, but it's still a lot of film you have to shoot to get cut down to 30 minutes.
Sure, absolutely.
Good, so.
I understand that.
So, you've had tons of cars. You have plenty of projects.
And you got the world's cleanest garage, man. I swear.
What's your dream car? Like,
I don't think he's got a set one, man.
Like, someday I'm going to build this.
If it's a car I'm going to build, it's going to be something weird like I've always wanted a Jensen Interceptor FF.
A Jensen, huh?
Yeah.
With a Mopar?
It's a big Mopar engine,
Yeah.
and the FF was the all-wheel drive version.
I didn't know
So you
about
have
that.
a gigantic V8 all-wheel drive British sports car. I mean, it's just
Right.
like the best of everything. So that would kind of be on my list, but those are just, they only made a few of them. They're really, really rare. Modern cars, if I just go out and buy something, I've always loved like Aston Martins and things like that. Yeah, I mean,
okay,
that's just,
those are slick
those
design.
are just great cars, and yeah, a lot of fun. But yeah, no, I've never been one of those like dedicated one car kind of guys. Like there's guys who are I'm a Mopar guy, I'm a Nova, 1965 Chevy Nova, that's my car or whatever it is. So,
Right. Well, a lot of that goes to I grew up with that.
yeah, see, I grew up with everything. So my dad was always bringing home stuff and projects and different things, and I travel a lot, so I always see. Like my Mini Cooper came about from a trip I was in Europe driving a little Peugeot 206 that I leased, and I was driving all over Europe, and I saw this little green 69 Mini Cooper across from this restaurant.
Like 13-inch diameter
Yeah,
tires.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And I took a picture of it, and this is back in 2004. And it was one of those cars that just kind of stuck me. I want one of those cars. It had the roll-open top. It's in this little French town called Cassis, which is like the little idyllic beach town in France. And I was like, I want to get in that car and be reminded of that perfect beach town in France. And when I got one, I got a British Racing Green, same wheels, same interior, ragtop Mini Cooper. And honestly, like you jump in that car and it was just transformative. You would just you couldn't help but be happy in the car. Plus, it was a ton of fun to drive. And in 2012, when we redid it for the SEMA show, we did it in camouflage. It was a really fun car, and we really tuned it up, and we took it all on all kinds of rallies. I mean, I've driven the car. I probably put 100,000 miles on that car in the 7 years that I had it, and we went to Chicago, and I mean, we went everywhere in that car. So that was just one of those great cars that you always, kind of want. I'd love to get another one, but I've kind of worn out my time with Mini Cooper, so I thought it was something new.
So, after this race coming up, what future plans? Not just for this car, but just in general.
Well, this car and in general, this car we're going to probably do a couple more tweaks to it and hopefully refine it some more. Probably going to take it to some like other local vintage rallies and things like that. There's actually a rally we're looking at doing. It's up by San Francisco called the Bohemian Run. So we're looking at doing that, and that's in...
Because you're going to learn a lot.
Oh, yeah.
That first day.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
So, and then we're going to do some other local events, I'm sure, with it. But, yeah, I don't know exactly what we'll do with it. Well, the Fiat when it's done, the main thing I'm going to do with that is, it's going to be a SEMA show car. The Austin Healey might be at SEMA, too. We're still waiting for confirmation on that. We might take it out for a launch thing there and kind of promote the film and all that stuff. But, yeah, it's... kind of up in the air. I mean, again, these like the Fiat kind of fell in my lap. This car fell. Whatever pops up, I kind of look at them and say, "Yeah, I can do something with that," and start tweaking things. So,
All right.
Okay.
You're a busy guy, Mike.
Yeah.
it does keep me busy. Yeah.
And then, what's new with the website?
Well, the website we redid a couple years ago, and when we relaunched it, it just had a huge spike in traffic. It was just ridiculous. And it was mainly just because we stopped focusing just on like car events, because that's mainly it was just photographs from events that we did, and we started really focusing on the lifestyle, and that's kind of the thing that I really enjoy is the overall lifestyle. My company produces apparel for the automotive lifestyle. We do. So we do a lot of fashion stuff. We do a lot of different events, a lot of travel stuff. We actually just did our first printed version. We call it our yearbook, which we just released. And it's all our top stories from 2014. And we actually put them in a beautiful, nice printed magazine. And it's just for our sponsors and people that supported us and stuff. And we send out to like industry people. And it's a really cool magazine because it's got some great just stories in it. We want to make the film because we've been telling really cool stories on the website for a long time. I mean, and the magazine was kind of an extension of that. Last year we went to Indonesia and we road tripped all the way across the island of Java, and we stopped in and visited RWB Indonesia and Michael there, and he's got the garage called the Terra Garage, where they build Porsches and Volkswagens, and he's got the largest collection of Volkswagens in Indonesia. And I got a photograph of all that. And he's got all these RWB Porsches that he's had built, and just cool stuff. And we thought, the film's going to be a big part of the website moving forward, of trying to capture some of these stories and tell them, because no one else has gone over there and done any stories on that type of stuff. So we travel a lot. A couple months ago I was in Nicaragua, and you were talking about motor swaps earlier, funky motor swaps. There was Nicaragua is a very cool place. I've been working there since I was 17 with a different with an NGO group that does all kinds of aid projects and things like that. So I've been going there a long time and watched it progress, but they are the most innovative people when it comes to making cars work.
Oh, resourceful.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, it is wild. So
Resourceful.
we pull up to this facility that we work at, and there's this old Ford Windstar minivan, like a 95. And the first thing I noticed, it was a Mystic painted, which I was like, I didn't know they ever offered a Mystic painted 95 Windstar, but it was a Mystic paint Windstar. The other thing I noticed, it was rear-wheel drive, which those were front-wheel drive. And we popped the hood on it, and it's got a Mitsubishi Mighty Max turbo diesel in it in place of its front-wheel drive V6, driving the rear wheels with a subframe they built and attached. So you got this rear-wheel drive diesel Ford minivan. And the swaps down there are crazy. I mean, we saw a 65 Mustang with a Toyota turbo diesel in it. We've seen Ladas with V8s in them, all kinds of wild stuff. So, yeah, we want to tell a lot of those type of stories that's no one else is doing, and we try to be a little more, I guess, innovative when it comes to the type of story. Everyone's doing a story on the same 5 guys, it seems like, and it gets a little tiresome. You click on every website and it's the exact same story about the exact same guy who does Porsches, the exact same guy who does Ferraris, the exact same guy who does Shelbys. And it's like, okay, well, if he's everywhere, that's cool and that's great what they're doing, but what about like the regular enthusiast and the guy who's just doing something funky to survive, or the guy who collects Volkswagens in Indonesia? I mean,
or has good luck with finding $100 cars.
So, yeah, man, that's the guy who gets $100 cars. There you go, man.
Yeah, I've had a few of those.
So that's at gentlemanracer.com.
Yeah, gentlemanracer.com. Yeah.
I'm assuming you've got a Facebook and
Facebook,
Twitter and all
Instagram,
that.
Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff's on there. Yeah.
So that's the best way to get a hold of you. And
and there's contact information on our page. If someone has a story they want to tell or something, get in touch. We've got Instagram's been probably our most popular thing, and that's The Gentleman Racer at Instagram. But yeah, that seems to be where everyone's going, is towards Instagram. Twitter does good too, but Instagram seems to be, everyone likes the pictures. So,
right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for talking with me.
No, thank you guys. It was great.
Thank you.
All right. So, till next time.
Wait, check this out. Check us out on Stitcher, SoundCloud. Yeah.
All that
It's all free. Check it out.
All right. And tell a friend.
Yeah, that's right.
So, till next time, my name's William.
This is Davis and
Mike Satterfield.
But there'll be